Maybe my nose has stopped running enough now that I can actually communicate. Um, yes, so I talked about I want to do it myself. Some big changes. um, with stuff, kind of, I guess. I mean, like the fundamentals of my life very rarely change. I value what I value and I do what I do, and I'm pretty much always doing everything that I do by myself anyway. So, yeah, it doesn't change. I suppose the subject matter changes, eventually I'll probably get back to drawing and painting, maybe, maybe, maybe after I finish my book. Um, but I have to finish the book first because it'll be such a source of pride that it'll just fucking sustain me for the next decade. And I really want that, you know, for my self esteem and my ego, I really want that. Even if I don't get published, I don't imagine I'll get published. It's not really about getting published anyway. I mean, it would be nice. It's just about saying I wrote a book, and it's not just like a random piece of shit book. It's not a short story. It's not anything. It's a full fucking novel with characters, complex plot, world building, book. I wrote a book. Not many people can say that they've done that. So I would like to say that I've done that. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. I am doing it. 22,000 words in, fucking killing it. Yeah, good job, me. All by myself. Nobody else. Nobody helping me. Nobody cares. Just me. Just fucking me in my cave. You know? Fuck everyone. But that's just like practical stuff that I'm doing with myself. We're coming into winter now. I've been looking forward to winter. I had really, really bad skin like a month ago, which seems to happen like every year at the same time for some reason. I don't really understand it because it wasn't particularly hot. I'm not really impacted by change of season. I'm not one of those people with seasonal depression or anything like that. I wasn't drinking. I don't drink now anyway. Um, if for whatever reason, just my whole skin just completely blew up with eczema. It's horrible. But I've got it under control now. Looking good. Looking clear. Um, Coming into colder weather now, which means that I can. I suppose this is more practical stuff, but it's also about emotions as well. I can go walking. I do want to go running. I'm not a very good runner, which is funny because I used to play football like fucking 12 hours a day, when I was younger, and I was pretty good. But I was a sprinter, right? When you're playing football, you sprint for short bursts, and then you're just kind of like walking around and passing the ball, and then you sprint, and then you're walking around passing the ball. So you're fit, but you're not like long distance jogging. So that would be something that I would have to work up to. Uh, Plus, I have smoker's lungs, right? So it would be especially a challenge, and I'm just not that up to it at the moment. So I would settle for walking the coast in the colder weather. So we're coming into the colder weather now, and that's nice. So I might do that soon. I was gonna go today, but I kind of have this cold and I'm tired and I feel like shit. So I don't think that I will. But maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I don't know. I find that the more I think about something, the less likely it is to happen. So it's better to just plant the seed with knowledge that it will happen, and then try to shut off my developed brain for a while. And then I'll just get the whim one day and go. And then once I go once, I'll just keep doing it. So it's all about the first step. Um, Emotion wise, I'm not great, to be honest. Uh, I'm very like I'm not depressed. I'm not bad that way, but I am aware that I'm kind of like in exile. And in these times in the past, it was very nice to have sort of my grandparents to go and break it up. You go and talk about, I don't know, the news with them for a couple of hours, and you talk about life stuff and stuff like that, and it's good. Uh, but I don't have that anymore, so uh, I've been sort of going through ways that I could address that in my head, I guess. Uh, and I try not to dwell on the past and perceived slights from friends and stuff, but it is difficult. I have a difficult time with it. I have a difficult time with all that kind of stuff. I really resent that I even need to. Uh, I need other people, right? Which is a fucked up thing to say, but it is what it is, I suppose. Uh, I looked into, well, I've been thinking about looking into, again, I've looked into it in the past, but I've been thinking about looking into like groups um, in my local vicinity. There was very rarely anything though. But I would consider going to like a writing group or like a book group or something, maybe. Less so a book group because I don't want to read. you know, I don't want to sit and read a book, to be honest. I don't read in the best of times, which is funny because I'm writing a book. Um, I'm very selective about the things that I read. Like, I read a lot throughout the day, but I very rarely read like novels and stuff for entertainment. Um, I find a lot of the time that it does put me to sleep, which is good. That's not why I'm reading. I want to read for reading, not to help me as a sleep aid. So, there are books that I would like to read. Uh, like, for example, I've never read any Asimov, and yet I've seen media based on Asimov's works. Um, so it would make sense that I should go and read Asimov. But I mean, it's money to buy the books and so on. It's just, I don't know. It's just not on top of my priorities at the moment. If I could just have like I don't know, just somebody that give a shit about my existence. I mean, that would feel nice. Just like friends that you go, you wanna, I don't know, go for a coffee. You know, but it's so complicated. Fuck, even just getting coffee with people is complicated. It's like time. Maybe it's a weird time of the day where you're gonna meet. Maybe the place is like fully full or something. And then it's like you're gonna get into stuff like gender as well. It's like women, like just being friends with women is challenging. There's always a problem. If it's not with me, then it's with somebody else. You know, you just have to witness this train wreck, and you know what's gonna happen. Ugh, ugh, it's just exhausting. You know, just like somebody that I could talk to. That is on. You see, that's just so it's so pretentious. On my level, you know. I mean, it's a fucking horrible thing to say, but if I'm not, a lot of the relationships I've had in my life, not online because it's much easier to meet. My online friends have all been on my level or above my level, which is refreshing. But in real life, in my day to day, even when I've been at like college and stuff, or work. You know, the sort of people that you meet, like there's nobody that's on the same level. It's very strange. It's very rare to kind of meet people that stimulate you in a way that you would actively seek out these relationships. You know, when I think about making friends with people again who don't have any interests, you know, they just kind of like go from day to day, and they're not creatively minded. They don't work on anything. You know, maybe they play games, but they're shit. And then you play them with games because you like games too, right? But you're just better, so it's just boring, you know? And you're like, you could try and explain how to be better at the game, but then you're just coming across as I'm self-aware enough that I don't do that. I don't want to be that guy that's part of the group and he's just lecturing everybody on how to be better at the game when they're just trying to have a good time, you know? But to me, that's not a good time, right? So you just kind of grin and bear it, and you vow never to do it ever again, right? But then why are you hanging out with these people anyway? You know? Or you got the people that just want to drink. I don't really do that anymore. Like, I don't mind having a drink and getting drunk. I just don't actively seek it out. It doesn't do anything for me anymore. You know, I'm not a drug user anymore either. You know, I don't actively seek that out. It's just, I'm just past it. I want real stuff, realness, you know, not distraction. I want substance. And you can't find that. It's just not there in the wild unless you. The only place I could think about something like that existing is university. And I don't want to go to university just for that, you know? I also don't want to be in debt just to go to university, you know? But it seems like everything in my life is pointing me towards that direction. Everybody's always like, the last girlfriend I had, she's just like, you could teach at university. It's like, how the fuck can I teach at university if I don't have a degree? You know? I don't even want to teach. Like, I like teaching, but I don't want to. I just want to be in that kind of environment with people that have interests and care about stuff, you know, fucking passions about anything. You know, I want to be I want to be completely ignorant. I want to be in a situation where I just have somebody and they're just talking about stuff that I have absolutely no idea about. And I'm actually interested in learning and I'm just like asking them questions and stuff. I have never met anybody in my life to date that has ever had any sort of passion or mastery or interest in anything that they would be willing enough to fucking just lecture me. Just lecture me. Just tell me all about it. I want to know. Tell me. You know? But nobody cares. People just, they're such slaves to relationship dynamics and everything, you know? And I get frustrated because I think about, I've just went through this big rant with me, I suppose, to, about I'm lonely and the sort of things that I would value in a relationship, right? And then I think about a particular friend that I have, right? He ticks all the boxes, all the fucking boxes, right? You know, and then he chooses not to sort of engage with me in that way, you know, creatively. Why? I mean, I know why. It's because I'm a piece of shit, but maybe that's, you know, it is my fault. Most of it, it is my fault. I accept that. So maybe this, that's my punishment. That is the punishment that I had to live with. That you've seen something that you would want to have actively in your life, and it's gone. So now you have to live with that hole, right? And that's okay. I accept that. I mean, I don't. I hate it, but I can't do anything about it, so I have to accept it eventually, right? It just sucks. And it's so hard to even find people like that. And I wouldn't even know where to begin looking, to be honest. Like, I have tried looking in the past to find people like that in my own fucking country, but they just don't exist. The closest thing that you would ever get to is maybe like music, some sort of creative collaboration with music. If you happen to be musically inclined, I'm not musically inclined. I love music, but I don't play instruments or anything, right? Uh, I don't sing or write lyrics, you know. Maybe in the future I will, but I'm not gonna go pick up an instrument just so I can hang out with music people and make friends, you know? It's just not how it works, you know? It just seems that I've chosen an avenue in life that will forever doom me to be in isolation, you know? And, you know, people are like, oh, well, your expectations are too high there, Michael. You need to lower them. It's like, I've been lowering them my whole life. And the people that I have hung around with in real life have been all from all kinds of walks of life, you know, all different types of people, and it just I would just rather be alone, you know, than suffer through another fucking conversation about some television show I don't care about, or you know, just whatever. I can't even think of what these people care about, you know. That's how bad it is. Like, they're just nothing. They're such nothing people. The closest person that I've met in my life who might even be sort of who might qualify, at least tick some of those boxes. I couldn't even tell you what her personality was really, because there kind of was nothing to it. It was just like she just kind of like cared about, it was just like men and relationships, and then like she had like some little creative projects, you know, nothing too serious, just like little crafty things that a lot of women do sometimes, you know, like uh making like little fancy cards or little ornaments, you know, maybe you watch a YouTube video or something, you know, and that's fine. But that's it. Like the rest of it is just like talking about men or the other men that she knows in her life that she may or may not be romantically involved with, you know. Just men and drinking and going out. It's like, fuck man. It's like there's more to it, you know? Oh, there's another thing she was interested in like a lot of people know, like these kind of social issues, right? That I'm just I have opinions on it, but none of it is good, really. You know, like a very pro, strong feminist kind of stuff. You know, it's just like, all right, okay. So, long story short, I just I don't quite know how to get myself out of this rut. I don't know how to meet my social needs. I don't know how to meet or where to meet the people. I have an idea, but I can't get there at the moment. Maybe if I write a book and get published, then people will be like, "Oh, hey, you want to go hang out at the university?" It's like, "Yeah, all right." You know, but as it is at the moment, it's just like I don't exist. You know? I mean, I exist. I don't need other people to validate my existence, but you know what I mean when I say that. You know, there are two fundamentals to a person, right? There's two cores. There's the you, and the you is you. Most people don't develop the you. You know, they don't have a great deal of introspection or you know self-development. You know, they're still struggling with the same issues that they had in their 20s, you know. They just kind of like go from A to B to C, and that's fine, you know, it's whatever. I would have a very high degree of you-ness. But then there's the aspect that requires it's a mirror. It requires reflection in other people, acknowledgement, opinions, judgments, uh, and then like light stuff as well. That part of me is not very developed at all. And for other people, that's all there is. Uh, I need to change the balance a little bit so that I have some sort of social something. But it has to be of quality. God, I could not. I can't suffer. I can't, like, I can do the pubs and everything and sit around in the circle, and most of the time I don't really contribute because I don't really have anything to contribute. So I'll talk somebody's ear off if they ask a question. I have a lot of things to say and I don't mind sharing, and I can share. I'm not that socially awkward, to be honest. Like I'm a bit I have a personality type, I suppose. I'm a bit quirky, I guess. Like I don't have some of the filters that other people have. I just kind of like talk, and I don't mind talking. I'm confident in what I talk about, and I don't mind complimenting and stuff. I don't really fit certain categories. I imagine a lot of like normal people would watch me speak in these kind of videos and go like, "Oh, he's fucking autistic" or something like that. It's like I understand why you would say that, because a lot of the issues that I'm talking about would be common in people that kind of have those. I'm not even sure if you would describe it as a disability, whatever. I don't I don't really have that. Like I can be perfectly social when I need to be, you know, but I just don't see value in it a lot of the time. When the people that I'm talking with we just don't share the same sphere. I'm having to move myself. My whole life, socially speaking, has been a complete adaptation process because I recognize that a lot of the problems that you have in life are because you're not adaptable. You have to be flexible. You have to be like a tree and bend with the wind. I understand that. But I have bent so much that I'm just like, fucking this now. And I can't bend anymore. It doesn't benefit me to bend this much anymore. You know, I don't mind bending a little bit just to get to where I want to be, but I'm not getting where I want to be, so I have a really hard time doing that now. When I think about sitting around in a fucking pub with a bunch of people and you're not even really talking about anything, you're just like, I don't know. I can't even imagine. God, when I think about going to the pub with my sort of very short term girlfriend last time, it's just like, God, she didn't even know what metal was, like musically. It's just like, God, do you even listen to music? Like, you know? Fuck. Oh, God. And, you can't take that out of context, that one single thing that I just said. You can't just say, oh, well, just because somebody doesn't know what metal is, just doesn't mean anything, right? I understand that. It doesn't mean anything, but there's a whole lot more. Very basic things that aren't even really necessarily important to me, but it's such basic information to me. I'm just so surprised that somebody couldn't know that. You know what I mean? And then you talk about creative things, right? Like at the time, I was doing a lot of woodworking. So you can talk about wood stuff, and they can be interested and so on, but they'll never ever have input. Not even on like a creative level, creative asking creative questions, because they're not creative people either. You know, the best you'll ever get is, oh, that's nice, that's cool, it's so cool you do that. It's like, yeah, what about you? What do you do? And this is what I always come back to. What are you good at? What do you do? And you would ask them about work, and they're like, I don't want to talk about work. I hate work. What the fuck do you do with your time then? You know? If you're not going to talk about work where you spend like 90% of your day, then how do I ever engage with you in any sort of way? You know? 90% of my day is taken up doing work. 9% is taken up communicating with you, and then the 1% I'm probably sleeping. But the 90% I'm so happy to talk about because I love doing what I do, even though it's not successful and I don't make any, the creative process is important to me. And I could talk your ear off all day about it because I love it. But if you can't even talk to me about work, it's like, what are you? You're not anything. You know what I mean? Like, where are your interests? I need people with interests to talk to and to talk to me about their interests. I want to learn and to know. I want to hear about the passions and the struggle. But it just doesn't exist for me, I'm tired of bending, tired of lowering myself to try and engage with people to get some sort of cathartic social, whatever. Fucking everybody my whole life has always been, oh, you need to start, get over yourself. You need to, I mean, that's all I fucking ever did is get over myself, That's all I ever did up until this point anyway, is lower your expectations, lower them, lower them, lower them. And you will meet people, and I did meet people, and they're fucking boring. And then you run into all these like drama problems that don't ever happens when people are fucking idiots to begin with, you know? So I mean, what am I supposed to do in that situation? Do you just keep going like that? And hope that you meet somebody that is stable enough on this sort of subterranean social level that you're now existing at, because you've destroyed your expectations to the point that you'll just accept anybody into your life. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just like fucking be bored the rest of your life? I'm so bored. I'm so bored when I think about these kind of social situations. I'm so bored when I think about talking to people and pretending to care about uh, these really inane things, these everyday bullshit gossip. Fucking monkey. It is monkey. It's just such monkey work. It's so unevolved. It's so simple. You know? Just get over yourself, Michael. Just get over it. Stop valuing yourself. Uh, yeah, so, long story short, emotionally speaking, not doing that well. Kind of upset that nobody really bothers with me anymore. I mean, I was kind of hanging out with some people for a while, and then I just kind of like exited out of that. And that's fine. That was my choice, and there are consequences to that I live with. But there are people that I would like to have a more consistent kind of relationship with online, but they don't want to talk to me anymore. I have become the problem there. Uh, and I feel bad about that, but I can't fix it, unfortunately. I've tried to fix it. I've apologized and so on, but you reach a certain point with somebody, and they will make a decision, and when that decision has been made, it can never go back. Something breaks inside, they break it, and it has your name on it. You know, once that has happened, it can be repaired. You can revisit nostalgia together, and you can entertain being in the same room, but it will never ever 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 be the same. And unfortunately, I think that's what has happened with these few people that I would like to have a relationship online. um and that's my fault, and it makes me feel like I will probably die alone. But I've kind of always knew that in a way. uh there are things that I've wanted in life, and I've made efforts to try and find them, but perhaps I've been looking for them in the wrong place. And the people that could have given me these things were right in front of my face all along. And I know that's a bit of a cliche, but that's kind of how I feel about it now, on some retrospect, you know. But we're past it now, so I just have to find a way to live with it. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is in writing a book. And then I'll write my book, and then find something else to do, and I'll just keep doing that until the day that I die. And then I'll die, and I'll have this nice big legacy mountain of art that will probably get incinerated.